Hey guys, welcome back. Today I want to talk about the importance of Halo 6 launching on PC for both the game itself and also the future of the Halo franchise. Now, for those who don't know, Halo has a really weird history with PC. Funnily enough, the first ever Halo game to launch on PC at the same time as Xbox was actually Halo Wars 2 in 2017. Before that, the PC launch was always like 2 or 3 years after the Xbox launch. This was the case for Combat Evolved and Halo 2, which came out in 2003 and 2007 respectively. But they were the last mainline Halo games to be ported over. Everyone was sort of sat there waiting for Halo 3's port, but it never happened, and from then on, Halo's relationship with PC was rocky, to say the least. We did get the Spartan Assault and Spartan Strike games on PC, but they weren't exactly anything major, and then we got Halo 5 on PC, but it was only Customs and Forge with no matchmaking, or customization, or campaign, or anything. And then to top it off, the aiming with keyboard and mouse was completely broken, and it was limited to the fucking Windows Store. So yeah, Halo has a very rocky history with PC, but this needs to change because despite this, there's still a pretty damn big active community there for it. When Halo Wars 1 got added to Steam, pretty much all of the Steam reviews were like, yeah, this is dope, but please give us the other Halo FPS games on Steam. And if you look at the discussions for it, they're still kind of like that. Despite having its official service shut down, Halo Custom Edition still has over 260 active servers off-peak times, and there's still like shitloads of mods, overhauls, custom campaigns, and more mods being made for it. The continued popularity of a 15-year-old port, along with other Halos being rebooted on PC, like Halo 2 for example, should tell you enough already, and this doesn't even take into account the sheer size of the PC gaming community compared to the console and specifically Xbox community. A study done by the ESA in 2016 found that out of the world's 1.8 billion gamers, 1.2 billion of those are PC gamers, compared to about 1 billion of those which are console gamers. So that means that there's a market of like 200 million people who maybe might want to play Halo, but they have no access to it. If only 1% of that number purchased a Halo game on PC, that's 2 million sales, which is fucking nuts. That's a very big number, and no doubt that number of people could be reached if a Halo game launched on PC with the Microsoft marketing machine behind it in full force. Now, there's been one major problem with recent major Halo releases on PC that has severely destroyed their potential. Instead of releasing the games on Steam, which is the most popular game service on PC by a large amount, they released them on the Windows 10 store instead, and then subsequently, their populations have been depressingly low. Halo Wars 2's was so bad that the game was literally unplayable like a month after the game came out, until they introduced crossplay, which thankfully ended up kind of saving the game. Halo 5 on PC is pretty much a wasteland. There's like single-digit servers up at any time, and it's showing no signs of improvement. Halo Wars Definitive Edition, on the other hand, a sort of semi-remaster of a 9-year-old console-only RTS, was put on Steam last year in what seemed like Microsoft and 343 sort of testing the waters with Steam popularity, and as a result, the game sold over 180,000 copies. Now, yes, the population has since dipped severely on it, but like I said, it's a 9-year-old heavily aged RTS that was built specifically for console, not PC, so in comparison to other PC RTS games, it has some pretty big limitations. I mean, even compared to Halo Wars 2 it does, but at the end of the day, it sold a shitload for what it was. I guarantee it sold a lot more on Steam than it sold on the Windows Store. But whenever anyone brings this argument up, I always see people say, well, most people have Windows 10 and the Windows Store is installed by default, so nothing is really stopping them from getting on the Windows Store and downloading a Halo game. Now, let me tell you why this point is invalid. So the large majority of people who download a Halo game on the Windows Store are dedicated Halo fans. They're people who follow Halo and they know that a game is going to be available on that store. This is a tiny minority of Halo's overall audience. Most people who buy Halo don't really keep up with Halo news, so they have no real way of knowing when Halo is coming to a store that they don't use, and these people are what I'm going to call passive players. People who just sort of see Halo in a store or something and decide to buy it without doing any real prior research. This type of player makes up a significant majority of most AAA games audiences. Now, Steam has an average daily population of like 15 million people who are on Steam and browsing the platform. We don't know how many the Windows Store has, but I mean, I'd hazard a guess that it's probably not even 1% of that. So that's 15 million passive players who could one day just stumble across Halo on the Steam store and think, you know what, I'm going to buy this game and try it out. But because it's not on Steam, they can't. I think the best way to summarise why Halo needs to be on Steam is, imagine if you could only buy a physical copy of Halo from a Microsoft store. No GameStop, no Best Buy, no Game, no HMV, none of these stores. You literally had to go to a dedicated Microsoft store to get the game. Halo being limited to the Windows Store is the sort of digital version of this, and considering that digital sales now like massively outnumber physical ones, it's likely having an even more significant effect. But there's one more very big reason that Halo needs to come to PC, something that could cause the game to explode in popularity again, but this time in a more unconventional way: modding tools. Now, modding tools have breathed so much life into various different PC games in the past, and they've extended the lifespan of them by an insane amount. For example, Arma used to be a fairly niche realistic military shooter, but then DayZ came along, a mod for it that turned it into a sort of open world zombie survival game and exploded, and thus caused Arma to explode in popularity too, making it one of Steam's most popular games, and it still is today. It also created a huge knock-on effect where loads more unique mods started to be made for Arma, which in turn also got really popular too. It's at the point now where mods like King of the Hill, Wasteland, and Exile get more players than the base game. Call of Duty's modding tools are another example, specifically custom zombies. Treyarch first gave us modding tools for World at War, and as the popularity of zombies started to explode, people started making custom zombie maps, which in turn got really popular too. These helped keep the game alive for like almost a decade. I mean, World at War is still popular now because of these, but then Black Ops 3 came out with more modding tools, and then that sort of carried on the legacy, and I guarantee that they'll cause an almost identical effect with that game too. These tools allow people to create entirely new experiences and have completely different takes on the mode and really let their creativity just go wild and do things that developers couldn't even dream of. Like one map, I'll be fighting zombies in the war-torn streets of Berlin, and then the next one, I'll be fucking completing a total wipeout course while killing zombies that are chasing me. It's crazy the creativity that comes out of these things. And I guess my point is that these are just two very specific examples of how successful modding tools can be for games. We've seen them in action with Halo before, with how successful Custom Edition was, and still is, and if Halo 6 were to launch on Steam with modding tools, its potential could be infinite. So, thanks a lot for watching, guys. Do you agree with me? Would you play Halo 6 on the PC? If so, then let me know in the comments. I want to give a big shout out to the patrons TheArdentPrayer, Alex Agui, Jack Cook-Widener, Jack Madden, and Chris G, and along with all the other patrons too, for the amazing support so far. I really appreciate it. The Xbox Game Pass giveaway for patrons is still going on, by the way. I'm going to probably end it in 2 videos time, so if you want to enter, then all you got to do is become a patron. Simple as that. Thanks again for watching, guys, and I'll catch you in the next one.